and we'll be doing the same. And as soon as we have more guests to speak to, we'll be coming back to you in the studio. Bongs, I'm not doing you any favors. Do you see what I'm doing? I'm actually not doing you any favors.
Stay with us here, cable bash. Make sure I don't stand on the cable, please.
I humbly apologize.
Each and every time, bring somebody.
I'm now going to speak to Sherlyn Dudley, who is...
You don't say stand by for what? I'm here. Stand by for what?
I'm now going to speak to Sherlyn Dudley, who is an MP with the ACDPA in Parliament. And Sherlyn is always really well turned out, whether it's Sona or not. But today you're looking especially beautiful. First, before we get down to business, tell me a little bit about your outfit. How did you go about choosing it?
Well, it's recently with the Chief Whips Forum in London, and I always pay a visit to a particular shop there and picked up this little dress. It's light, it's easy to wear, and it sort of bridges business and that more exciting time in our country, and so that's how I came to do it. And because it's so 50s, I decided that the stockings were very important as well.
Sherlyn, you spoke about bridging business. Let's talk business. Lots has been going on. What are you hoping to hear President Ramaphosa say in the House today? Is there anything in particular that you are wanting to hear?
Well, I think firstly the important thing is that bringing the nation together. We want South Africa, we know we are a diverse society and we want to embrace that diversity, but we also want to be one people, and we know that we've done amazing things together collectively as one country, and we can feel that energy seeping back into people's psyche. The negativism seems to be going. People seem to want to get rid of that negative approach. So
with me right now, I have Musa Myeni and his wife Natalie, who looks gorgeous. I'm going to be coming to Musi very, very soon about politics. But let me first hear what he has to say about fashion. Musi, so tell me a bit about your outfit. How did you put this together?
This is just something I put together just out of the cupboard. No, look, I think dressing up is great. It's great that South Africa celebrates such days. I think we often have images of ourselves on television where often people see us fighting. They see us in our worst self. I think there are days like this that they've got to see us in our best self. See us that we can be strong, but we can also be a people that celebrate. So I think today must be seen in that light. I certainly am not a fashionista. My wife looks great. She's the one who looks beautiful today, and I just came to be the supporting act.
Let me ask Mrs. Myeni, what is the highlight of this day for you?
I think this year in particular, just the atmosphere is very different. Last year, if you recall, there were military police. We had a very high presence of the military and the police within the precinct, and I just think today is very different, and that's a highlight for me today.
On a more personal note, your husband seems to be quite a hit in terms of how he wears his suits. I don't know, I'm sure you knew that, yes. But you're not the only one who has an opinion. So how does it feel knowing that your husband's a bit of a fashion celeb in the country as well?
Yeah, well, I think he looks fantastic in a suit. I think Musi was built for a suit. And I think he should look good. I think it's great. I don't have anything to worry about. He should look good. When he looks good, we look good.
So sweet, Musi. Okay, fine. Let's talk business now.
Yeah.
What's your expectations for today?
When I signed up for Parliament, I came here to fight for South Africans who are left behind. South Africans that are unemployed, young South Africans who can't find work, the 30 million who are poor. And those numbers have been increasing. That's not a Jacob Zuma problem, that's an ANC problem. And therefore, we've got to come here today and now continue to fight for those. And therefore, we will be fighting today. I'm looking forward to a plan that talks about how do we create jobs? How do we ensure that life as it demanding is never repeated? How do we ensure that events that took place in Marikana, because our people are marching for economic empowerment, that never gets reported? This is the South Africa we must fight for, to ensure that when we talk about prosperity, it's for all the people, and that ultimately we can live in a country that's at peace with itself and free from corruption.
Musi, thank you so much for your time, and we'll be speaking to you after the address.
Much appreciated.
Have a good day. Thanks, Natalie. Okay, we had the Myemanis there who are on their way to back to the house. Let me see if I can find, ma'am, can I just drag you in front of the camera? Tell me a little bit about what you are wearing today.
Hey,
Why did you choose red, first of all?
I'm choosing this color because yesterday it was a Valentine's Day. So I'm just continuing with that Valentine's Day today. Because my partner is far away, so I'm just reminding him that I'm still here. Yeah, I'm alone here in Parliament. My partner is in Johannesburg. So I'm still enjoying the Valentine's Day.
Do you enjoy dressing up to Sona?
Yes, I'm always. Yeah.
Thank you for your time. Thank you so much. We have a whole bevy of beautiful ladies standing over here. Ma'am, tell me a little bit about your outfit, please.
Sorry?
Tell me about your outfit.
Oh, this is the one that I chose. And then I said, wow, I like it this way.
And you enjoy dressing up to Sona?
Yes, I enjoy dressing like this. Yes.
Thank you so much for your time. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Right in front of me over here, I have the Premier of the Western Cape, Helen Zille. Ma'am, good day. How are you?
Fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. You're looking lovely. Thank you. Who made your dress?
Brandon designed my dress. That's why he's my date.
Brandon, let me ask you then, what's your inspiration behind this dress? We know Helen's a very powerful woman, so I'm assuming that you keep that in mind when you design for her.
Yes, for me, my wife is a very powerful woman as well, so her inspiration came with this whole dress. And when I look at the Premier, the color we chose was obviously because of her skin tone and obviously the elegance of the woman. And that's the whole power behind this dress, because she's a powerful woman.
Is she a difficult person to design for?
Oh, not at all, not at all. I think she's much easier than all other clients.
Don't you wish that all your political opponents said the same thing?
Yes, I certainly do. But the thing is, designing nice things is fun. And the job that I often have to do is to oppose things, which isn't so much fun. But this is a great, wonderful, fun thing to do together.
Why maroon?
Well, that was chosen for me. And I think it's a beautiful color. I love it.
Tell me a little bit about what you're hoping to hear during the speech today.
I'm hoping to hear a vision for one nation with one future and how we will build confidence in our country's future again after the disastrous Zuma years. A very important speech for all of us.
Okay, thank you so much, and we hope you have a good day in the House. Okay, I think we're going to hand back to you for now, Eben, and we will chat to you soon.
All right, that is, of course...
Somebody else's interview. Reverend, ma'am, hello, how are you doing today?
As always, we're doing very, very well. Thank you so much.
I noticed that you guys are wearing the same patterns, but I'm going to give the mic over to your wife. I think that would be a better bet, right? I just need to go in there and hijack somebody else's interview. Reverend ma'am, hello, how are you doing today?
As always, we're doing very, very well. Thank you so much.
I noticed that you guys are wearing the same patterns, but I'm going to give the mic over to your wife. I think that would be a better bet, right? Ma'am, hello. Tell me a little bit about what you're wearing.
We are wearing our Tswana tradition. We decided today, you know, to just come out as people who love their country, people who love their background, people who love where they come from. That's why we decided on wearing Tswana tradition.
And every year when I ask your husband this question, he always says, this is the one area where you wear the pants from.
Oh yes, I become the boss and he's so submissive and I love that.
That's such a good answer. Rev, I spoke to your colleague Sherlyn Dudley just a minute ago about the party and what his expectations are for this afternoon. But the theme that I've been getting across the board today was one of hope. MPs from the ruling party to opposition parties, that's the same word they are using. Is this something that resonates with you as well?
Well, definitely, definitely. We have come out of a past that has left many people depressed, worried about their future. But now you have a man who is not known to be tainted with allegations of corruption. And so we are hoping that he is going to be tough on corruption. He will come with a big broom to first clean his cabinet. All those who are linked to corruption, that he removes them, replace them with people of stature and people of integrity. We are concerned that if the image of the country does not improve internationally, we are going to sink. That's why people are hopeful that we now have an opportunity to improve our image, to clean our image, and the responsibility for now rests on one man, the President of South Africa, who is Cyril Ramaphosa. And I'm hoping, from knowing him, I'm hoping that he's going to maintain his ability to deal with issues that he is not happy about. Now, he was our leader when we were students, and whenever he was not happy with anything, he would deal with it. So if he does not say what we are expecting, I'll remind him, I said, go back to those qualities that made us respect you as our leader, that you need to be forthright. We know you're a very humble man, but in your humility, be forthright and think about the interest of South Africans. We are coming out of an era where the interest of South Africans were not taken seriously by the head of state. But now people are hopeful. I am also hopeful that you'll put the interest of South Africans first. And one of the important things you must do, deal ruthlessly with corruption. And if you do that, people are going to applaud you, as people are very, very hopeful as you are speaking right now.
Reverend, thank you so much for your time. Mrs. Meshwa, thank you so much for speaking with us, and we hope you have a good day. With Ms. Doris Lakude of the ANC. Ma'am, usually when I speak to you, I talk business to you and we talk politics, but I think we're going to give that a break for today. We can talk about that after the address tonight. Okay. Tell me about your outfit. You always look beautiful in Parliament. You always make an effort. You look especially beautiful today. Just tell me about your outfit, please.
There is nothing special about this outfit. It looks like all the outfits that I wear every day on my way to work. So it's only that this one is for the first time that I'm wearing it today. But I bought it, I'm sure, 2 years ago. It was because I gained some weight, so it was a little bit smaller, but now it fits. So, yeah, that's why I'm like this.
That's very refreshing honesty from a politician to talk about gaining weight to the nation. Ma'am, thank you so much.
You can see a difference now. I look a little bit slimmer. Yeah.
Well done to you. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you have a good day in the house.
Okay, thank you so much.
And then I'm going to be speaking with... Okay, they're first getting their greetings and their hugs and kisses done. I'm speaking with Phumzile van Dam of the DA. Phumzile, you're looking fabulous. Oh my word. Face beat on fleek.
On fleek. Malcolm and Clook. I wanted to go for a Black Panther look. Check out my rings. Yeah.
So just turn around for us a little bit. Why did you dress so fancy today? Do you wish you could dress like this to Parliament every day?
I think it's a chance for, as a woman at least, for once in a while to look pretty, to get your face beat.
You always look pretty.
Oh, thank you. And I think I look a little bit prettier than I usually do, to wear flake eyelashes. So it's just a chance to get dolled up.
But I'm sure that that's just a fleeting thought, because you're going to go into the house now and your mind's going to completely shift from what you're wearing.
Absolutely. I think, like with all South Africans who are looking for hope after the trauma that was Jacob Zuma's presidency, I too am looking forward to hearing what it is that he has to offer. As our leader Musa Myeni said yesterday, where he does right, we'll be there to support him. Where he messes up, we'll be right there behind him to conduct vigorous oversight. And of course, the battle will happen in 2019 at the ballot. So we look forward to hearing what he has to say today and then preparing for 2019, where hopefully instead of being talk about corruption, it will be talk about ideas. We'll be talking about policies, comparing which party has the best policies to take South Africa forward.
Kumsi, thank you so much for your time. I hope you have a good day in the house. Thank you. Hello, sir. How are you?
I'm too young to complain, self.
I'm good, thank you. Before we talk about your outfits, you obviously represent the Khoi people. From which region?
Eastern Cape, Port Elizabeth region.
Who are you? Tell me exactly who you are.
It's Christian Martin. I form part of the 4 Khoisan people that slept at the Union Building. And obviously the president now came to save us, to put it that way, and just to be grateful and remind him that the Khoi people are really the first indigenous people of the country and that we are here to support him.
So obviously you didn't have to put much thought into your outfit because it was a given that you were going to come to Parliament today to represent.
Definitely, ma'am. I must honor the people that made the dress. It's from Edo. The guy that gave me the skin is John Webb. The guy that made the outfit, his name is Joe. He has his own leather company.
Sir, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for joining us. Bye-bye. Hello, ma'am. How are you doing?
Helen, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. Tell me about your outfit, please.
I'm inspired by the Xhosa nation, and I just loved it, and I thought, oh, why not this year? You know, there's such a lot of peace at the moment, so go for white, and that's what inspired me to go for Xhosa.
Do you enjoy dressing up for Sona?
Yes, I enjoy it.
Thank you so much for your time. Thanks for speaking to us. Okay, we will continue to look. Oh, here we have somebody. Hello, ma'am. How are you?
Well, thanks. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. You look beautiful. Tell me about your dress.
Thank you very much. It's designed by Kobus Dippenaar. He's locally based here in Cape Town, but an internationally acclaimed designer. I'm very pleased and happy and privileged to wear one of his creations, and I believe that too many people come to local events wearing international brands, and I think we have to keep it local. And I hope the next time I come to Sona in 2019 that I will have a black woman design my dress.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank
have
you
a good day. Bye-bye. I think we're going to cross back to the studio for now. It's quite a bit of humdrum here. Well, thank you. First of all, have you dressed any of the guests we're going to be seeing here today?
Maybe two. Yes, they will tell you who they are. I'm not going to tell you.
And can you give us an idea what the theme was, or did they decide for themselves, or did you have themes in mind?
Well, I mean, clients come to me with different ideas and I decide what we're doing. I know that I've dressed one of the anchors in a red dress and somebody else in a very exciting color. Just watch it.
David, how important is Sona for fashion in South Africa? Is it one of the fashion highlight events for this country?
I think Sona is one of the, I would say, this trend-setting events because every powerful person, emerging person, and also people that we look up to, they set their tone for the year. So Sona is it's becoming a much more important event for fashion, and also just supporting local brands, which is very, very important. And also just to say to people, we have it as South Africans, let us continue supporting local brands.
Do you find that more and more MPs and politicians are actually turning to local brands?
Absolutely. I mean, it's only a journey that we have to take them on to say they must learn to appreciate local talent, because we know local bodies, or I would say body structures, and we actually personally make it for you, unlike just buying an international brand and then you have to bring it to us and then we have to alter it because it ain't working. So it's very important that people are starting to do it, and we've seen a lot of that growing from the past 2 years. People starting to support local designers like the Makosa, Laduma, and me as well, and Tula Cindy. So it's great.
Thank you so much for your time and have a good day.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Over you have it. I have somebody with a really interesting outfit. This actually looks like a mixture. It's very eclectic, a mixture of a whole lot of different things going on here. Am I correct?
Absolutely.
So what's happening over here?
A little bit of Xhosa, a little bit of modern, a bit of fashion and chic. But at the end of the day, we bring it back home to the roots.
How did you conceptualize this? Did you do it on your own or did you have someone like a designer to assist?
It's actually inspired by Mandela's outfits of the Sona red carpet all the time. So I had to feminize it a little bit, chose the color royal blue because I come from royalty. And yes, it's inspired by Mandela.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Beautiful, thank you. Okay, as you can see, it's quite rough out here at the moment. And here we have one of our favorites. We lively, and so we have you.
Listen, I'm coming to have a look and do what you're doing as well.
You're going to jump over, Leanne, or?
They're going to arrest you, so you better jump over.
I better jump over before I do that. So here I go. Okay, all red carpet and all.
So Leanne, are we
interviewing people? She's doing what you. Abra.
Cute. All right, welcome back. Abra, I'm standing with you here. Come. I've actually walked down here and decided to join you. I've been seeing all this excitement taking place on the red carpet. It's quite incredible. How are you finding the vibe?
Leanne, it's much better than it's been in previous years.
Yeah.
We're not as corralled in as what we were previously. The security does not seem to be as tight. Before, when I came to work in the morning, I had difficulty getting into Parliament.
Yeah.
It was easy. It's been generally an easy morning all round, and I have to say that the vibe has been so much different. Everybody across parties, there's just something different, something light.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think it reflects in the outfits today as well.
Well, that is so nice because, you know, this was a short notice thing. Although people do prepare for it every single year, we know it's coming. But 11 o'clock yesterday to get an SMS and be ready, that's a big thing.
Everybody's here for Cyril Ramaphosa. In my mind, the heroes of today are actually the parliamentary staff, because it was hectic in the accreditation centre last night. I mean, those guys were working flat out. I mean, they had a day and a half to put all of this together. This year's Sona isn't quite like all the other years in terms of the logistics. There's a lot we are not seeing that we normally see. But I take my hat off to all the parliamentary staffers who've really been putting extra time in to bring us the Sona, because they are the ones essentially who bring Sona to us.
Absolutely. We're seeing lots of people behind you here. From the PAC, it's so lovely to see you. How are you?
I'm okay, no problem. I don't have to complain. Yeah.
That's the main thing.
Yeah, also fine.
I am, except I've got something in my throat. But other than that, I'm perfect. Tell me, how are you feeling ahead of today? I mean, it seems like there's a very different vibe here than there has been from previous years.
I'm feeling good. I'm feeling great. You see, I don't know what is making me to feel this way. Maybe it's because we are just hoping that at least new things will happen. And I think the other thing which is making me to feel brave is because this month of February is the 40th anniversary since Robert Mangaliso Sobukwe left us. So we are busy also celebrating him, and that is why I was saying to the state president, Cyril Ramaphosa, yesterday that at least he is going to be made a president of this country during the important month in the calendar of the PAC. Yeah.
It's an amazing part of our history, it really is. I have to ask you, however, you look absolutely beautiful. Talk to me about this dress of yours.
I bought it from Black Eyed. Susan made it for me, and I love it. I look so
look absolutely beautiful. And I'm sure excited and looking forward to a beautiful occasion, because it's a big moment, I think, for South Africans to be seeing our President Cyril Ramaphosa standing up there delivering his inaugural State of the Nation address. What are you hoping for tonight?
Yeah, what I'm hoping for that at least I'm sure, although I know, you see, for us, changing faces, normally does not make any material differences, more especially to the lives of the African people. But I am just hoping, because at least, you see, he is not as corrupt probable as, his predecessor. I'm just hoping that when he talks about the radical transformation of the economy and of the land, I'm hoping that at least he will be able to unpack it, so that at least we understand exactly what it means. And I'm just hoping that he will also talk about the change in the Constitution, more especially Section 25, the property clause, because the current Section 25 is in favor of those that are in control of the wealth of this country. And I hope that, because even before the predecessor left, he also made an announcement about free education. I don't know what he means about that, because as we speak, our students are still suffering. They don't even have accommodation, and most of the parents, they don't have money for their kids to further their education. To us as PAC, you see, education is not an expense. We see it as a service to Africa. And the other thing is that, if people are educated, kids are educated, they are just like an investment to our country. So I'm just hoping that at least Cyril Ramaphosa, the current president of the ANC, will make sure that they address those issues. I don't even want to talk about the poverty lines, the fact that our people are destitute and all that. He knows. Let's hope that at least he will address the imbalances of the past. Yeah.
Thank you for talking to us. Have a wonderful evening. You both look great. And I hope it's a good evening for all of you and for all of us watching on. Lovely. Thank you. Thanks so much. That's a PAC talking to us here on the red carpet. I seem to have lost my colleague, Abra Babia. I'm sure she's also trying to find a bunch of other people that are with us. And let's welcome our next guest onto the special broadcast that we've got here on SABC. Great to see you. Welcome. And how are you doing? You look wonderful this evening.
Thank you very much, Leanne. Good afternoon to you as well.
And good afternoon to you too. Talk to me about your expectations for tonight.
Well, first and foremost, let's congratulate President Cyril Ramaphosa for having risen to the highest office of the land. Then secondly, as the National Freedom Party, we would like to see to it that he nips corruption and state capture in the bud. But he should not be working alone, of course. We are there as the opposition to ensure that government is accountable and, of course, working with the entire collective, the business, the civil society, and everybody around South Africa who have played a major role to ensure that we are here today. I mean, our country is facing economic problems at the moment, challenges. Our economy is ailing, is bleeding profusely. And as the National Freedom Party, we want to ensure that there is work, there is jobs for our people, and our people are employed. There is a high rate of poverty in our country. And of course, we want to see to it that we deal a shattered blow to poverty and unemployment. Of course, there is the issue of free quality education, basic education, and also higher education. You know, the predecessor just announced that there will be free, quality, higher education. We want to see how that is costed. We want to see how much is given to that. And of course, as a country, our children need to be employed. We have so many of our young graduates, diplomates, who are unemployed at the moment. And we want to ensure that, we want him to talk to that. What is it that we are going to do? Just recently, there was an announcement that unemployment has just gone down by 26%. I mean, that is not good enough. There are so many people who sleep without any food in their stomachs. And of course, the issue of luring investors to come and invest in our country, and that must be, he must touch on that as well. I mean, bring about stability and certainty in our country. And of course, Ramaphosa is only one man, but he needs the support of all of us, the opposition, all the opposition parties will rally around as a collective to ensure that this government succeeds. That's all we expect of our country. Leon.
Well, we wish you the best of luck. Good luck. Enjoy it. How are you feeling? You looking forward to a good evening tonight?
I'm feeling very great. Yes, I'm expecting many changes. Yeah.
Changes? Kind of changes you're hoping for?
Concerning education, jobs, economics, many. Yeah.
Lots of expectations, I think, and lots of excitement all at the same time. We'll have a wonderful
We're very
evening.
ecstatic as a nation because this is a new dawn. And oh, God has answered our prayers, and we really pray for stability in our country. We pray for prosperity. I mean, we must work for it. It will not come to us on a silver platter. We've got to work for it. Thank you so much.
Have a wonderful evening. Thanks for talking to us here. Absolute pleasure. Well, as you can see, we're trying to catch as many people as we can as they come in, and they're coming in fast and furiously. There are loads of people that are standing on the red carpet and wanting to share their views and talk about what their hopes and expectations are for this State of the Nation address, this inaugural one that's going to be delivered at around about 7 o'clock this evening. Actually, we say around about, but I think we mean exactly 7 o'clock, because there's one thing about timing that we've been warned by our new president that things are going to go on time. But then again, the State of the Nation is one of those events where everything seems to go very much so on time. So I'm going to try and call up our next. You're being interviewed over here. Okay. Well, we'll just continue to try and find some people to talk to. Here we go. Hi. How are you? Fine, you're looking absolutely beautiful.
Thank you, thank you.
Thank you. Talk to me about your dress.
It was bought in a shop. Yes.
Listen. Those are the best dresses, to be honest.
Definitely. I think designing a dress is a lot of hard work. Yes. So I chose a color, chose a dress that fits, and here I am.
Yeah. Well, you look absolutely beautiful. So coming in, obviously these are. This is one of the highlights on the calendar for South Africa. This was quite a quick, short notice one. What are you looking forward to tonight?
Well, I think the mood has definitely changed, not only here, but across South Africa. Looking forward to continuation of what we've been doing, but also renewed hope, stemming from the change of mood, finding ways of being able to harness that South Africans have, and be able to move forward with that.
Well, listen, good luck, enjoy it, have a wonderful evening, and you look absolutely beautiful. Go and bask in the glory of being inside the National Assembly and enjoying it. I'm going to cross over to Abra. She's standing right there. Let's go to her now.
Skirt with a St. John's top and Prada shoes, a Tom Ford bag, just different pieces put together with different textures, but the color matches my lipstick.
How much effort or thought do you actually put into an outfit like this for a day like today?
Well, I put a lot of effort in the way that I look, because for me it's very important how you look. Your deportment in life says who you are to people around you. So I put a lot of effort in the way that I look. But today I was not sure. There were two different outfits that I had. And looking at the beautiful sunshine in the Western Cape, looking at the beautiful weather here today, I just thought a darker color wouldn't do justice to celebrating this beautiful day, where we have the President of the African National Congress, newly sworn in as the President of the Republic, delivering his first State of the Nation address.
I was going to come to that next. Everybody's in a celebratory mood. Are you looking forward to listening to his maiden address as President of the country today?
I am, because we come from a very robust conference that dealt with a lot of policy issues that might see South Africa's face changing, one of which has been the one on land, because if you remember, our land primarily was about, our struggle was primarily about land. And I think we've taken a very long time as a country to decisively deal with the land issue. And wherever he speaks about the land issue. And I just hope the land problem or the land issue does not only end with agriculture, because there's so much more that we could do with our land. If you look at what the NDP envisages for a South Africa of 2030, there is a lot that we could do with the land, on manufacturing, on agro-processing, on tourism, on the hospitality industry, quite apart from agriculture itself. So I think the mindset also needs to move away from that. But by and large, I think there's a lot that we still have to do as an organization. I just hope that the ANC will firm up the accountability framework to ensure that all of us, as we sit in Parliament, are accountable to the African National Congress, if not accountable to the people of South Africa.
Minister, thank you so much for your time, and we'll see you after the address. Thank you. Thank you. I think we are going to go to Leanna. Am I correct? Leanna, is it over to you?
Yeah, thanks very much. Abra, thanks so much. Let's continue to chat to some people that we're grabbing here on the red carpet. Fires from the ANC here in the Western Cape. Good to see you.
Thank you, Leanne. Thank you to the listeners.
I'm not going to ask you who dressed you. I think we'll skip the formalities, but you do look very dapper.
Thank you very much. Today is a good day to be an ANC member. I'm very happy to be here. We are grateful that we are having a new president, and it's also the new dawn for the ANC. There's a lot of hope and aspirations that our president, we look forward to him delivering on.
What are you hoping to hear? I mean, you know, Cape Town is in not the greatest situation at the moment as we find ourselves in, particularly with the water crisis. Are you hoping that that is something that the president does address?
Look, I think the water, but also accelerated service delivery. For a lot of poor people in Cape Town, the water crisis is a daily occurrence. With a bucket system, it's a daily occurrence. So I think we must be more responsive to how we deal with the water crisis. I think for us, the key issue is that we're calling on all of our Cape Townians to use our water sparingly. And so we're asking the president to intervene, because clearly the local, provincial and the local state is not delivering on water. So that's the one issue. But I think the key issue for us is the jobs, the economy, and also we need a more caring and more responsive governance. ANC that can look at how do we increase the social investment of the state of the nation. We're looking at our president to make sweeping changes on dealing with the corruption, the mismanagement, and also improve delivery. I think this year we need the social wage of education, health, and jobs to improve. And so we're looking with excitement, great excitement on what's going to happen, and we are keen that he will deliver.
Have a wonderful evening. Thanks for talking to us. All right, so let's find out who Abra's got now. Abra, I'll pass back to you.
Leanne, thanks so much. I'm going to speak to an ANC MP now, Ms. Mahlangu, who's looking bright and beautiful. Tell me about your outfit.
I'm wearing this dress, which shows brightness, a mix of orange and red, because we are at the dawn of hope. I'm dressed by Kharskotsie.
You talk about being at the dawn of hope. I was actually going to ask you, does your dress represent your mood today?
It does, because I think as a citizen, as an ANC MP, a public rep, as South Africa, the country, we are all having that hope, we are all starting afresh, we are ready to hit the ground running.
And you throwing your support behind the new president to hit the ground running?
Very much so, very much so. Humble servant of the people, and that's what our people expect us to be.
Ma'am, do you think that life in Parliament will be a little bit more calm now?
We'll wait and see, because our mandates are not the same, but as I said, we are hopeful and we are praying for that.
Ms. Mahlangu, thank you so much for your time, and I hope we'll see you later on.
Thank you.
Okay. I think, yes, okay, I think we're going to go back to Leanne right now.
Good evening, how are you? Good, Leanne. Good. Are you keeping well? You look absolutely beautiful.
Thank you, Leanne.
Talk to us about who dressed you.
Bonolo Mashilo Designs. She's a young girl from Denelton. Yeah. So I'm promoting young designers. So she's working very hard. Yeah. And I think a lot of people will support her.
Yeah. Absolutely beautiful. And most importantly is the color, because the color seems to be a very popular one. I'm not sure if we're predicting what's coming out. The plum color seems to be working the red carpet.
Well, she's the one who chose the color, because I wanted something traditional, and then she said, no, I'll design something. You don't know the styles these days, so I'll make sure that I put you in the trending you know,
in the
style.
colours. Well, you look absolutely beautiful. Talk to me about your hopes. What are you hoping that tonight delivers?
I'm hoping the President to provide more resources for institutions like the Public Protector and other Chapter 9 institutions to assist in making sure that we eradicate this corruption. We assist government in service delivery to provide resources to, in fact, service delivery to South Africans.
Yeah. That's a big loop that I think is missing, and there is always that cry for funding when it comes to these institutions. Anything else that you're hoping from this inaugural address from our President? Because I think there are a lot of expectations that are resting on his shoulders right now.
I'm also expecting that the President can also make sure that they create more entrepreneurial opportunities, especially for SMMEs. Yes, I've seen that they will be intending to focus on jobs, but then there would be those who can't even find jobs, or even some of them are not gifted academically. I think we also need to give more emphasis on providing entrepreneurs enough funding to be able to also create employment, because they will be also employing other people who are not employed or who don't have the skills, because I think we need to create that opportunity for everyone.
Yeah. Well, have a good evening. Enjoy it. Thank you for talking to us here on the red carpet. I think you go up the stairs over here. You see what happens when you're standing here, you become the direction person as well. So it's looking absolutely beautiful as we get a look at the back of the dress as well. I'm going to hand over to you again, Abra. It's over to you. Who you got?
Leanne, thanks again. I now have with me an MEC from the Eastern Cape. Ma'am, welcome to our province. Miss Majodina of the Eastern Cape.
Yes, thank you very much to viewers at home. I'm also greeting them on this special day.
You were just boasting to me now about the boxing awards that you hosted recently.
Oh yes, I hosted a glamorous boxing awards. That is why in my outfit I keep gold, because gold is boxing, gold is everything, gold aspires hope.
Ma'am, everybody's talking about hope today. Everybody, all the MPs, all the politicians across the board are talking about hope. Are you a lot more hopeful today at this zone than what you were previously?
I'm more hopeful today because the President has been in and out of the province, in and out of the country, and ordinary people have told them that we are hopeless. Bring us hope. Now there's a new environment, new leadership, new hope. Be that as may, we know that there are financial constraints. He cannot do everything alone. And I'm calling for all communities to be active and to say, I want to partner with government, the business sector as well, because government alone, President alone cannot do miracles. He needs all of us. Each and everyone must say, I want to be a legacy. I want to contribute positively to change South Africa to be better. And I'm committing myself that I'll be one of those people who are going to make it a point that we move forward.
MEC, thank you so much for your time. Sorry, have a good day. Thank you. I think we are now going to go back to Leanne. Yes, Leanne has a guest, so I'm going to hand over to her right now.
Thanks very, very much, Abra. Well, you know, besides the politicians and everybody that's gathering here, there's also the invited guests, particularly from business. And I've got Siyabonga here from Telkom. Good to see you.
Thank you.
You know, obviously having an astute businessman taking over as president of the country must be a big relief for business as well. I mean, from your sort of angle, what are you hoping the president addresses?
We hope the president addresses the income part, because of course we always talking about radical economic transformation from the expense side. But how are we going to grow this cake? It's what Telkom will be looking at. We also want to see that there's a full appreciation of preparing the country to benefit from the fourth industrial revolution, to make sure that we're technology ready, infrastructure is ready, and we're able to attract the necessary investment.
And that is very, very important. I mean, we saw Ramaphosa doing an unbelievable job when it was at the World Economic Forum, already selling South Africa, already seeing our currency strengthening. So we are seeing a bit of a shift, but there's a lot more work that needs to be done, clearly.
Indeed, but business has always been supportive of government. They've reached out historically, and even now, as Telkom, we've been working closely with government to make sure that there's at least an appreciation of what needs to be done. The heavy lifting starts now.
All right, I'm gonna just interrupt for a second because I think some of the viewers I'm gonna ask the cameraman to, if he can, just zoom a little bit ahead of me here. There's a big tussle happening there, and that's purely because Minister Fikile Mbalula has just arrived here at Parliament, and everybody wanting to get a photograph of him and hopefully hear his expectations as well ahead of the State of the Nation address and find out from him what he believes his future is in this cabinet. You know, he's obviously in a very powerful position at the moment, but does he feel a little bit threatened, or does he think that this position of his is going to be his for much longer? Well, here he comes. He's rushing up those stairs. I don't even think we stand a chance of trying to stop him. In fact, here we go. Let me get him quickly. I'm running ahead. Minister, how are you?
I'm good, I'm good.
Good.
Yes.
Am I allowed to ask you who dressed you, or did this just come out the cupboard?
No, I dress myself, you see, so I've got an eye for nice suits and so on. So it has been difficult because we couldn't go home and get new things because we came here and we had to stay on, and today we've got a State of the Nation.
Exactly.
That's what is important.
And that is the most important thing, because I mean right now this is the inaugural address of our new President of South Africa. How are you feeling? I mean, we know you were a big Zuma fan.
I'm not a fan of anybody. I have got views. At a given point in time, I did participate in bringing President Zuma to being the president of the ANC. As the Youth League president, I've got no regret, even an iota of that. What happened after? It's another question. Yeah. President Ramaphosa, congratulations to him today. He's the president of the ANC. What happens to him after? It's another question, because you may be this person when you are elected, and then thereafter you become something else. True colors come out, you become something else. But what is important is that in the movement, there is a collective. And I'm part of that collective, and I'm happy today that we had a peaceful transition. We have arrived where we arrived. President Zuma resigned. There was no motion of no confidence. The President of the Republic will deliver, and the President of the ANC is sweet and sound, very good. No two centers of power, one president, one country.
Yeah. And that's what's important, because I can imagine that you were on standby for any eventuality. I mean, being in the police, if there was violence that broke out, obviously this falls under your domain, but South Africa seems to have taken this very peacefully.
It is peaceful.
Yeah.
I mean, even the police you see in the streets, I mean, it is peaceful, it is quiet. Everybody's at home looking at what the president will say in taking South Africa forward. It is wonderful. The African continent is happy. And that's good for our country.
Yeah, it certainly is. I have to ask you, though, and I think a lot of South Africans are very worried about what's happening with the Guptas. Are they in the country, out the country? Can we find them? Are they being hunted? I mean, this is a big story.
Look, I can't talk about suspects. We have arrested people, 8 till this far. There are 13 of those who are supposed to be arrested all in all. And then 5 of those are out of our reach. Some are out of the country. Now, given our positioning, I can't talk about names before they appear in court. But for those who have not found, we are hard at work to find them. And we are committed, even those who are out of the country, we'll hunt them down and bring them to book to answer for the cases that they've got to answer. So there is no turning back. We are sweeping, and the police are doing their job without fear or favor. And that is it. It is happening, and it has to happen. And that is what is important.
Minister, we thank you time. Thank you for talking to us.
Thank you very much.
I can see there's a tussle for you. All right, there you go. Let's quickly go over to Abra. Abra, who have you got there?
Leanne, thank you. I am now speaking with the leader of the Freedom Front Plus, Mr. Peter Groenewald, and his wife Hedwig is with us as well. First, tell us, do you enjoy dressing up? Do you enjoy coming to Parliament with your husband? Do you enjoy dressing up for this day?
Yes, it's nice to dress up and to be with my husband at his work, so I enjoy it very much.
Do you enjoy seeing him in action?
Ja, ek is baie trots op my man en ek is baie trots op wat hy bereik het so ver.
Sir, and to you, my question to you is, we've been speaking a lot over the past few days. I think I know more or less where you stand, but just for our viewers again, what are your expectations today? What would you like to hear President Ramaphosa tackle in his address today?
I think the most important is the economy, and why it is important that we have to create jobs in South Africa. That must be the top priority for the President, because if we want to do away with poverty, if we want development, if we want progress, if we want prosperity for the future, we have to create jobs. Dan sal ek ook wil hê, hy sal moet duidelik uitspel hoe hy die korrupsie in die regering en ook in al die staatsdepartemente gaan aanspreek, en hy moet weet die mense gaan hom dophou. Daardie dophou gaan behels dat hulle gaan kyk hoe gaan hy sy nuwe kabinet saamstel, gaan hy ontslae raak van die nuwe amptenare, wat gaan hy doen met die nasionale direkteur van nasionale vervolging, gaan hy die persoon vervang en gaan daar daadwerklik opgetree word om skuldiges aan die pen te ry wat miljarde rande van my en jou belastinggeld vermors het.
Meneer Groenewald, soos gewoonlik, dankie vir jou tyd. Ek sal vir jou later sien.
Baie dankie.
Bye-bye. I think we're going to go back to Leanne. Yes, Leanne is a guest, so I'm going to cross over to my colleague Leanne right now.
Right, thanks very much, Abra. Well, I've got our Communications Minister who is with us right now, Mameloko Kubayi. It's so nice to see you, Minister. And who are you wearing? I have to ask. It's my first question to everyone.
Leanne, the lady who did this dress is Kathy Baransa, who is in Cape Town. A lady who just does my outfits, almost everything I wear, she does it. Amazing. Used to work in the factories in Cape Town. She's doing her own work.
Fantastic. You look absolutely beautiful. And let's talk about your expectations, because this is it's a big moment for South Africa. And actually, before I talk about your expectations, what are you picking up from this red carpet? I know how I'm feeling. How are you feeling?
Look, there's a lot of excitement. A lot of looking forward. I think we are looking forward compared to the other time. I mean, last year, obviously, I was not here. 2016, there was a lot of anxiousness, disruptions. But right now, you can see the mood in terms of people looking forward to listening to President Ramaphosa. Yeah. So it's really good. It's good for us. It makes my job even more easier this year.
Yeah. It does, because, you know, in previous years, it's felt very, very tense almost, because people have just been, you come here, it's wonderful, but then you sit here and you never know what's going to unfold. So hopefully this evening, a peaceful, glorious evening the way it should be. Your expectations?
My expectations starting from the House, I hope all our colleagues, we all can sit and listen to the State of the Nation address so that this country can just have a conversation about what is happening in terms of our nation, where we want to go, expectations around issues of jobs, how we're going to ensure that a lot of people get jobs, a lot of people who are looking for entrepreneurial opportunities can get that, how we're going to grow economy, how we're going to make sure that in terms of our record in delivering service improves, we can be people focused, but obviously dealing with the weaknesses that has been there in the government. So I am looking forward to that. Also, what we're going to be called upon in terms of call for action as per we celebrate Tata Matiba this year, centenary celebration, our icon, who has laid such a good foundation for us to be able to take from.
Yeah, and it certainly is a big moment as well, as I wrap up for you. I mean, when you look at the history of our President Ramaphosa and his relationship with Madiba, I mean, in all honesty, there couldn't have been a better year for him to take over as president.
No, I think it's definitely, we are fortunate to have President Ramaphosa as our leader, as the country, because I was even saying to one of my colleagues, he brings a variety of knowledge of various skills. He's been in business, he comes from government, he's been in the unions. You know, that brings various skills to be able to assist us as a country. I know what that means. When you have various exposure to different sectors and different environments, it does create a level of understanding of what needs to be done. So we are very fortunate this year of Matiba that he was there laying the foundation, worked together with Tata. I mean, some of the colleagues were saying, and when you reported at SABC, when he went and addressed the nation from the podium where last time he was holding the mic for Tata Matiba. I mean, that says a lot about where we are in terms of the country. Absolutely. It's such a lovely moment right now.
It really is, and one of those iconic photographs that I think will never age, and it just gets better with time. Our Communications Minister talking to us during this special live broadcast from the red carpet at SONA. Well, I can see Abra standing right behind us over there, who's joined by our Health Minister and his beautiful partner. Abra, over to you.
Leanne, yes indeed. This is actually one of my favorite ministers because he's always available to speak to us. He never runs away from the camera. I have a very good working relationship with him. Sir, you have a beautiful partner with you today, but I'm not going to discuss fashion with you here on the red carpet, even though you are standing here. I'm going to discuss business with you today. Is there anything specifically health-related that you would like to hear our new president speak about today?
Well, firstly, it's not my partner, it's my daughter. Yes, thank you. I just wanted to clear that.
After you told everybody else here that this is your new wife.
It wasn't just, I was joking, and I hope they... Yes, anyway.
Headlines tomorrow.
I've corrected it. I'll sue them if they make it headlines because I've corrected it. She's my daughter, she's my girl.
They tweeted it already, Vanessa, they tweeted it already.
They must cancel the tweets. Okay, yes, look, you are aware that health is one of the priorities of government. During the ANC Lekgotla, when the health committee, the commission which was dealing with health, which was reporting, I asked them specifically to start with one sentence. That was a quotation from one of the philosophers, the French philosophers, called Arthur Schopenhauer, who lived from 1788 to 1860, who said health is not everything, but everything else without health is nothing. Our lives virtually come to a standstill if there is no health. Even the economy, if you add that to what the president of the World Bank said, Dr. Kim Jong-Kim, at Davos World Economic Forum in 2016, he said the relationship between health and economic growth is not up for discussion. It has been made already. What is left is what to do, meaning that no country can grow its economy and bring an end to poverty, bring an end to unemployment, bring an end to inequality if the healthcare system is not fixed. So I gave them those words to understand the agency for us to fix the healthcare system. And you are aware that we want to fix that through the National Health Insurance, which is going to change many of the laws that have been applied in health since 1994 and even beyond that. Because most of those laws are are not making it possible for us to run a national health system. We are running bit by bit provincial healthcare systems that are problematic. We need a national health system, as the word national health insurance defines. Universal health coverage, that is the key. And that is what even the United Nations is settled with.
Minister, I have to wrap it up over there, but thank you so much for speaking to us. The Minister, of course, is hoping to hear the President put health right at the top of his SONA agenda today. Leanne is speaking with the Chair of Chairs in Parliament right now. Leanne, over to you.
Thanks very much, Abra. I was about to get a hug and a kiss from the minister as well, but unfortunately I missed out on that one. He snuck off in that direction. But I can introduce you to my next guest here, who I'm looking really forward to talking to. Cedric Thomas Frolik, of course, who is the current House chairperson here in the National Assembly, and his beautiful wife, Michelle. Lovely to see you.
Thank you, and welcome to Parliament.
Thank you so much. I mean, this is my first time standing on the red carpet, I must say. I'm enjoying it, and you look beautiful. Talk to me about your dress.
Well, a local designer in Port Elizabeth. I'm from Port Elizabeth, so a local designer at the last minute designed it for me, put it together. I drove up to Cape Town, and I didn't have a dress yet. That was last weekend, Sunday, and the Monday she couriered it for me. So here I am.
You look stunning and enjoy it. How are you feeling? I mean, we were talking off air about the atmosphere that we find ourselves in today, and it seems so celebratory. It's a lovely atmosphere this year.
Wonderful, relaxed. I think people are confidently looking forward to the address by the new president, President Ramaphosa. It instills a great sense of confidence in our democratic system in our country, that we can gather like this, and there's an expectation on what is the message to take South Africa forward again.
Yeah. You know, in previous years, it was almost expected that the House would be disrupted, there would be chaos, people would walk out, it would be a very difficult atmosphere. What are your expectations for this year? I mean, and I specifically bring up the EFF because we already felt that yesterday there was something up their sleeves. What are you expecting tonight?
Well, we have worked along very well this week with all the different political parties in the planning of the session that is going to happen tonight. And we expect that all political parties and their supporters are looking forward to an excellent State of the Nation address. And of course, with politicians, anything is possible. There could be points of order. The presiding officers are ready to deal with that.
Well, we look forward to an eventful evening. Thank you for talking to us. Enjoy it, Michelle. You look stunning. Cedric, thank you very, very much again.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Pleasure. Of course, Cedric and his wife, Michelle Froelich, talking to us here on the red carpet. I can see Abra is joined by, well, I'll let you introduce who your next guest is, someone who South Africans know exceptionally well.
Leanne, thank you. I have Deputy Minister Becky Cele with me, but before I start speaking to him, can we just get a shot of this dress? Ma'am, do you mind just doing a little twirl for us? This dress is too beautiful to not show off. It's absolutely gorgeous. Just tell me a bit about it. Did you have it made? Did you buy it?
My designer is Orapileng Modutla. All I said was give me princess vibes,
and you got princess
and
vibes.
I got that.
You look like a queen, in fact.
Thank you so much.
I'm going to just switch over to you now, sir. Your key points of interest that you're going to be looking out for during the address later this evening?
Well, we all know that we are facing some problems when it comes to economy. So if economy gets fixed, quite several things will be fixed. We'll be able to get some money to fund the education, create employment, especially for the young people, young graduates. But surely the president will touch on crime, will touch on corruption, and emphasize on the implementation. As you know, that everybody says ANC government policies are all good. The problem is about implementation. Surely we'll be emphasizing on that.
Are you hopeful, sir?
Hopeful? Why should I?
Are you feeling hopeful? The feeling on the ground today was that, I mean, even the president, when he spoke to us earlier on, he stood up there and he said, this is a new era we're going into. And lots of people were saying they were feeling hopeful going forward.
I'm not just hopeful, that's an understatement. Actually, I'm pumped with the excitement, but also the hope and making sure that this excitement that people of South Africa are enjoying at the present moment, we don't let them down. We work much harder. Those that will be chosen as the president, as his new team, they work much hard on behalf of the government and on behalf of the South African people. Yes, one is full of the new hope.
Mr. Cele, thank you so much for your time, and we'll see you later on.
You're welcome.
Leanne, I'm now going to be handing over to you. I see you have guests over there, so Leanne, it's over to you now.
Thanks very, very much, Abra. Well, I have, wow, what? I don't know how to describe how beautiful this minister looks, but there's a surprise up our sleeves to tell you who actually designed her dress. Lindiwe Zulu, Minister in the Department of Small Business. It is so good to see you, and you look magnificent.
Thank you very much. Always in the colors of the African National Congress, of course. And this is my daughter, Pindile. She's the designer. She's the one that's really started designing clothes for me in the colors of the African National Congress.
See, now that is what I'm talking about. So this is your design, and you just happen to be her daughter. I mean, this must be a wonderful moment for you as well, to see your mother parading your clothes.
Wait for the opening of Parliament, where I tend to showcase my work to everyone out there.
And it's magnificent. Do you have your own shop? I mean, do you design? Is this what you're...
I'm doing it privately at the moment, but I will be opening my boutiques all around the country.
I got a feeling after tonight you might be a little bit too busy. You might need to open up some factories.
Wait for that, because my work has been in the corners for quite a long time. I think it's high time that everyone has it. Yeah. Everyone who can afford it will have it.
How coincidental that you happen to run the portfolio of small business development. This is what it's about, taking entrepreneurs and making them into the livelihood and the lifeblood of South Africa.
What is exciting for me, first and foremost, to be with my daughter is because when I was in exile, she was brought up by my grandparents. And she sat next to my grandmother whenever she was making things, because she used to sew and sell in order for them to survive. And I keep telling her that my grandmother didn't have a bank to go to, didn't have a government to go to, didn't get any support, and yet she managed to educate 8 children. Now, I happen to be a Minister of Small Business Development, and so I had to dig deeper into what used to happen around my grandmother in making ensure that whatever she had, she was selling. It's a new environment, it's democracy, we have a government, and it's our responsibility to make sure that we support small and medium enterprises. The designers, I just saw David Klale, and I was very excited, and I did say to him, David, it's been a long journey for you to be where you are today. Just think about the others who are coming behind you. One like my daughter, for instance. Make sure that you share your experience with them, because our responsibility as government is to create a conducive environment for them. But ultimately, they need to take responsibility for running their businesses and growing their businesses.
Minister, just on a closing note, and also tonight, the inaugural address of our new president, Cyril Ramaphosa. How are you feeling? Again, you were very close to the former president, Jacob Zuma. How are you taking this evening?
I'm taking this evening from what President Jacob Zuma himself did when the moment came knocking on his door to say, this is the decision that the National Executive Committee has taken. This is the direction in which we think you have to go. He had to argue robustly, and I think it was a good thing for him to do. But ultimately, when he was all by himself, he took a decision that was going to be able to help us to be where we are here today. So what is exciting for me is, let us make sure that we've got very strong governance institutions, whether it's the judiciary, whether it's the executive, whether it's the legislative arm. 24 years of government and building of institutions. I'm very excited where I am, because had we not had strong institutions, we might not have been able to pull what we see here today. We might have not peacefully seen a transition from President Jacob Zuma to the current president. It's been going very smoothly, and I wish, of course, to thank the African National Congress leadership for being robust around this issue. Let us look forward. Let us support President Cyril Ramaphosa, because from day one, when we came out of Nazareth, he said to us, he needs unity, we need to be united, we need to put the people first more than anything else, we need to put the organization first. So today, we're going to hear him tell us what does government have in store in support for our people. But our people also need to take responsibility by ensuring that they become the citizens that South Africa wants.
Minister, thank you very, very much. Have a beautiful evening, and once again, congratulations. Absolute pleasure. There's our Minister of Small Business Development, Lindiwe Zulu. Right, back to you, Abraham.
Leanne, thank you. I'm now going to speak to Minister of Arts and Culture, Mr. Nadim Tetwa, and his wife, who's with us, also wearing red, a firm favorite today, ma'am. Why did you choose red? Is it the sign of your mood today?
No, it's actually our anniversary today. So we got married on this day, so it had to be in this color. And of course, you'll remember that it was Valentine's Day just a few days ago, so yeah.
So congratulations to you both.
Thank you very much.
So let me hand over to your husband now. Sir, is there anything in particular that you are hoping to hear the President say in his speech today?
Well, the President has been speaking from the conference, the national conference of the governing party to the January 8, and he has been raising issues, especially economic issues in Davos and everywhere, and the fact that our economy has to grow so that we are in a better position. We reach that stability which is so much needed, and be able to address the challenges we are faced with of unemployment. And you have noted it's top on the agenda of inequality and poverty in our society.
Minister, I think they're throwing us off the red carpet. So I hope you find your seat. Enjoy the evening. I think Leanne has one more guest before I think we're going to go into the house soon. But Leanne, it's over to you now.
Oh, Abra, and what a guest I have. None other than Mandela, and of course his magnificent white Rabia. Good to see both of you. You look amazing. Can I ask your wife about these outfits? I'm not going to ask you. I've got it. This is the ladies' domain. Rabia, talk to me about these beautiful outfits.
Well, it's inspired by the countryside. So it's Madiba's birthplace, and so we've brought a bit of that in with our own kind of modern twist.
Yeah, it looks amazing. It's almost kind of like a military jacket, but not. An African military, that's what it is, right?
Yes, we come from a province that has had many colonial wars. So with that heritage, as well as with our tradition and culture coming from Mvezo Komkhulu, we always take an opportunity when we come to Sona to highlight where we come from, to hold the Eastern Cape very proud and high. I think particularly because it's known as the home of legends and the many heroes and heroines that have committed themselves to our struggle for liberation. And today, when we celebrate Madiba's centennial year, we're not just celebrating his legacy, but the legacy of Mama Sisulu, the legacy of Walter Sisulu, Oliver Tambo, Pitini Kuma, all heroes and heroines that come out of the Eastern Cape. For us, we really take that with pride and say to South Africans that the legacy of Madiba and those heroes and heroines will never disappear.
This is your grandfather's year. This is his centenary, an entire year dedicated to his legacy. And tonight we see his very, very good friend and close companion, Cyril Ramaphosa, give his inaugural address. How are you feeling inside? I mean, what does it mean to you to see President Ramaphosa up there?
I think Madiba is smiling with pride that his dream today is finally fulfilled. We all know as a family that his personal choice that he wanted to hand over the baton to was Cyril Ramaphosa, because he wanted to demystify this thing that the ANC was dominated by Xhosas, Zulus, Onguni-speaking people. He wanted to say that South Africa and the ANC in particular is a non-tribal, non-sexist and democratic organization. So today, to see that his own colleague and comrade, Cyril Ramaphosa, is sitting right at the realm of the top office in the land, that of the presidency, is very exciting. And I hope that he will take certain chapters from Madiba's life and Madiba's leadership to ensure that he is able to lead us forward.
And it was nice to see some newspaper headlines with a big picture of him, and all it had to say was, Nda. And that's when you know that we're in a good place, aren't we?
Absolutely. I think for us, it's a very exciting times. Yeah. We are hopeful as South Africans that it's a new beginning, it's a new start, and we will be able to, most importantly, unify South Africans, rally South Africans behind our national flag, instill patriotism, and ensure that we are all able to work together across political lines, across racial lines, and economical class lines.
Have a wonderful evening. Enjoy it. Bask in the glory of your grandfather and of yourself and the wonderful things you've done. And Rabia, enjoy it as well. Thanks for talking to us here on the red carpet. Don't they look amazing? Okay, they look absolutely beautiful. I have to move across. I've got one more guest. Yeah, we've got time. Always got time for you. How are you?
We are fine. How are you?
Very well, thank you. Good evening. You look beautiful as well. Talk to me about your dress.
My dress is simple. Actually, I had it done yesterday.
Wow! In one day?
Yes. I thought the Parliamentary sauna would be open next week. So I was so much in a rush yesterday.
Listen, whatever happened in one day, it worked. How are you feeling for tonight?
I'm very hopeful, like everybody else. From the side of the Department of Labor, we are confident that the national minimum wage will be implemented, more so that the man who led the negotiations between Labour, government and community and business is the president of the country, who has the responsibility to ensure that resolutions that have been taken at legitimate forums have to be implemented.
Yeah. And Labour is a big passion of his, it really is. I mean, he comes from a union background, he comes from the business force, he knows this industry.
He knows all corners,
yeah.
He knows all sectors of society.
Yeah.
So he knows what is in the best interest of all of us. He's going to be in a position to combine and coordinate all of them so that we form a winning nation.
Well, enjoy tonight. Nice feeling, isn't it, tonight?
Yeah.
Good feeling on the red carpet.
Very much so. Oh, red carpet.
Have a great evening. Thank you so much for talking to us. I can see just through the crowds there, the Chief Whip of the ANC, Jackson Mthembu, he's standing over there. He's just arrived. I think it's a bit difficult. I can see that everybody's pushing us off the red carpet now. So I'm going to try and get off for a second as well and hopefully come back to us in a short while.
I'm probably so sweaty.
No, at least because I haven't done the touch-up on you.
Tell them we're being kicked out here. Tell them.
Guys, we are being kicked out. We can't stand over there.
Show me a greater power on the whole continent of Africa. Show me a greater power anyway.
6th of June 1918 was the establishment of our movement to maintain that.
We need to do something about the educational upliftment of the Afrikaner, and we also need to do something about the economic upliftment of the Afrikaner. And that was the two main goals at that stage in 1918.
The Broederbond never was a cultural organization. It was a state-capturing organization. It is, in fact...
I like that term.
It has...
Welcome back as we keep track of the State of the Nation address proceedings. As we can see, it's just under 2 hours now left before the official State of the Nation address is delivered by President Cyril Ramaphosa. Eben, what do you think of the fashion so far? A very interesting aspect to see our politicians all kitted out for this big momentous occasion. Mind you, a lot of them are saying they didn't even have enough time to plan because it was cancelled.
Yeah, you can see they didn't have a lot of time. It wasn't great thus far. I must say the best dressed thus far goes to Bheki Cele's wife.
Oh yes, absolutely.
I think,
and Busisiwe Mkhwebane,
yeah,
the public protector
I
there,
think so, absolutely.
Closely in second. Yeah, so we are monitoring those. I can see the brass band is playing at the stage, and we do have our reporter there, Abra Babia and Leanne Manes, that are checking things out on the red carpet. Let's see if they've got anything for us now.
They're making their way into Parliament. Obviously, as the hour approaches, getting ready, of course, for the State of the Nation address of the new President Cyril Ramaphosa. The cannons there that will obviously give the 21 gun salute a little bit later on when President Cyril Ramaphosa is getting ready to take the national anthem and the 21 gun salute just before he heads inside the House to deliver what will be his maiden State of the Nation address. After, what for us as journalists has proved to be quite a tumultuous week, very long hours, but we're very happy to obviously be here and bring you these live visuals of Parliament and the pomp and the ceremony that usually accompanies the State of the Nation address. As you can see there, the beautiful new wing building, that is of course where the new national